Good morning. We are here to study few details and exactly what is research. There are few definitions cited from different writers which I would like to share. First is research is a careful or critical inquiry or examination in seeking facts or principles. I repeat, research is a careful or critical inquiry or examination in seeking facts or principles. So, if we analyze this statement, which speaks about what is research, there are a few phenomena to be highlighted. Like it says, careful or critical inquiry. We all know what is inquiry. Inquiry means to investigate, to find out, to go into the detail, to delve down what is happening. All these come under the head inquiry. So, careful or critical. Rather, I will say here careful and critical. Careful means to be intelligent enough to find out what is happening behind the scene. That is careful. And critical is to find out and to highlight all the points which are related to the inquiry. All the points which we could see and the points which are unseen. All those points, and to put phenomena together, put 2 plus 2 together and then go into the inquiry of that. This is careful or critical inquiry. Then examination. Examination means to highlight each minute point of the work which is under investigation in seeking facts or principles. And why we have to go into careful critical inquiry and examination is to come out with certain facts and certain principles, concepts, models. What is the thought process behind the investigation? Why we are trying to find out? Now here I will give one example. Before we go into the example, we all know that every subject has a philosophical base. Every subject has a philosophical base. No subject has any research which does not enter into the arena of philosophy. For example, in geography we say that the origin of the universe is maximum explained by Big Bang theory. Now nobody has seen Big Bang happening, nobody has experienced Big Bang happening, and neither it is tested in the lab. But when we put the heavenly bodies, for example the stars and all the bodies and the objects which we see in the sky, if we put together and if we go into trigonometry and calculate it, it refers to something which happened as a blast, a bomb, and scientifically it is said Big Bang theory. This is the principle and the fact behind the origin of the universe. And if we go into humanities, if we take for example any rural area, so what is the concept behind the rural area and how it changes into urban area? Because no area is urban initially. If we go into the parent condition of any area, it is not an urban area. It is an open field, gradually developing into a hamlet and then turning into a village, and then it comes up as a village and then town and city, and as we all know. So these are certain facts and principles. So if we go into finding it out, how it has happened, how it has developed, that comes under the purview of careful or critical inquiry or examination. And if we are doing all these things, it means we are heading towards doing research. This is this definition. Then there is one more definition. Research is diligent investigation to ascertain. Research is diligent investigation to ascertain. Now again this definition speaks about investigation, which we have already discussed in the first definition, which says critical inquiry, and here it is saying investigation. Now what is diligent investigation? Diligent means to be very careful, to be intelligent enough to delve down the conditions and the situations, then to find out the behavioral aspect also, how it is dealing with the investigation, because mainly investigation is performed by human beings. So finding out the behavioral aspect also, what is the geographical condition in which a person is behaving, that impacts the research investigation. So diligent means to be very intelligent, to be careful, and to be truthful with what we are doing. Do it by aligning your heart and your mind. If we go for a research for the street children, unless and until it touches your heart, you cannot investigate it with diligence. You cannot perform a critical and careful inquiry into the condition of the street children, because normally we all have seen street children and we know in what pathetic condition they live. So going near them, finding out their life, giving a very lovable touch to the children, like a motherly touch or a fatherly touch, is very difficult. So if we are going into such a significant and emotional issue to do research about street children, unless and until we have a diligence attitude, a careful attitude, a very thoughtful attitude, we cannot do a good investigation. So if there is no good investigation, no good and authentic data is generated, and if no data, good and authentic data is generated, we cannot have a fruitful outcome out of that research. So this again, it speaks about a very careful and critical and diligent inquiry into whatever topic or whatever phenomena we are dealing with for research work. Next definition speaks, research is not a mere search for truth. I repeat it, research is not a mere search for truth. Now people can say that what do we research? We find out what is the fact and what is the existing condition, as it is mentioned in the first definition. So, but this statement is referring to some more dimensions. Research is not a mere search for truth. Suppose we have searched and researched and again find out the truth. Again, I will cite here the example of the street children. If we have gone through it, if we have seen their condition, it means we have searched the truth. We have found out the truth. Now next what? Finding out the mere truth, only truth of those children, of their livelihood, of their life condition will not solve the problem. Why? Because if we have truth and we have compiled it in pages and we have kept it somewhere and we are sitting on it and no plan of action is implemented and dealt with, it means that truth with which we have come out in the research is futile. That effort is futile and that research is useless. So here this statement says it is not only finding out the truth, but it is also working upon the truth. So if you have gone through PhD theses and the research works, you will always find out that there is one point mentioned in it Whatever research you are doing, whatever data you are collecting, whatever truth you are finding out, the facts, the principles, the concepts which you are dealing with should lead to a fruitful outcome. And fruitful outcome means it should be benefitable for the larger interest of human being. Because if there is no human being, no research. Okay, so it should be for the interest of the human being, for the development of the human being, to increase the human development index of the area, to increase the emotional index of the area, to have a balanced condition, balanced mental condition, balanced working condition, balanced lifestyle, to have equality all over. All these are certain terms which should be taken care when we are going for any research work. So finding out only truth will not help. How the truth is fruitful for the society at a larger scale is more important. And when we come to know that this research is fruitful or it is benefitable for this, for example, area A, then next step comes, how do we implement it? How do we come out of it? So this statement says that only truth will not help. Truth is very important to find out and to have a outcome of it and to again make it an action plan. Next is research seeks by preference principles or facts of universal validity. Now here is a little different point than the rest of the statements. It says seeks by preference. Now we have to prioritize the index when we are dealing with the topic. Which topic should we select? Should we go for a medicinal topic or for an urban or for a rural or transport or health? What topic we should deal with? So how do we go into it? How do we select it? By having preference. What is the preference in our thought process and what is the preference in our life? And sometimes to micro level if we go, what is the preference in our family also? If we have gone through certain circumstances which has deserted the family or which has created problem in the family, we can have that as preference for the research work. Next is principles or facts of universal validity. It should be accepted universally. It should be accepted by approximately 90% people. Now this we are saying 90% people, it's not, the other dimension of this fact is that it may not be accepted by 90% people, but there are certain sustainable facts which are defined in geography. So if that research highlights those sustainable facts, we principally and conceptually we take it as a point that it should be benefitable for the human being, and whatever is benefitable for the human being comes under the umbrella of investigation or research. One more point I would like to tell you here, that research means whatever is searched to find it out again. Research. Whatever is already searched to find out once again. And if we go into metaphysics, you will find that whatever condition, whatever object, whatever living organism is existing on the planet Earth comes under the purview of research. Because it is already existing. We do not say that we have discovered. We say that we have find it out. It was existing on the planet Earth and it is searched. We have brought through research, we have brought it into the light. It was a secret hiding in any part of the planet Earth, maybe in the human being, maybe in the animal kingdom or plant kingdom or the physiographic area, wherever it is, it was a secret and we have investigated it, We have studied, collected data, went there, observed it, and we have brought that secret into the light. So research is this. One more definition I will give here. Research should not be viewed only as scientific research, which is empirical, inductive, and exact. Research should not be viewed only as scientific research, which is empirical, inductive, and exact. Okay, this is a definition given by scholars, but here it is saying it should not be viewed only as scientific research. Now, in the earlier time, people have divided the research and they used to view it that it is a scientific research. Scientific means dealing with the natural sciences, physics, chemistry, mathematics. These are the natural sciences. So whatever secret is there on the planet Earth is revealed and it comes under the purview of the research of natural sciences. Now here it is saying it should not be viewed only as scientific research. It means that whatever research we are doing in the human arena does not come under scientific research. But I would like to state this statement a little differently. Every research, either it is in the human field or it is in the natural field, comes under scientific research. Scientific means using tools which is designed to derive the secret into the light. So whatever secret is there, if we are bringing it into the light, if we are bringing it into the published format, it is a research and it comes under the head scientific research. Okay, so of course it is not a natural science, but again it is a human science. Every human being is a science. Remember this, is an investigation, is a platter for investigation. Maybe anatomy or a mind. It is a platter for investigation. So whatever we are investigating comes under scientific research. May not be natural science, may not be physics directly, but physics is involved. How a man stands because of the physics, because of the forces, and you know, we need not go into too much of detail there because we are here discussing the definition of research and what is research. Empirical, inductive, and exact. Even the human investigation is empirical and inductive and exact. And in geography, there was a time when everything was very calculative. When physics was also there, when different other branches of knowledge were there inside. But gradually, because the subject kept on growing large, so the branches were deviated and separated. So it went out, but still it is empirical, inductive, and exact. Now, one example, a little example I want to cite here, that suppose we are finding out the anxiety level of human being. My research and my experience reveals it that whatever the level of anxiety a person has is exact. We cannot say that it may be, it may not. If we have dealt with it, if we have investigated it, if we have recovered data on it, because there are many methods nowadays to find out. So if we have dealt with the data properly and with authenticity, it is exact. Maybe high level of anxiety, medium level of anxiety, or low level of anxiety. But it is exact. We cannot say that it is ranging. It can be or it cannot be. This is what research does. When we find out the secret, bring it to the light, and we explain it, it becomes exact. John W. Best has said, now he's revealing what I was explaining you till now. The secret of a cultural development has been research, pushing back the areas of ignorance by discovering new truths. The secret of a cultural development has been research, pushing back the areas of ignorance by discovering new truths, which in turn lead to better ways of doing things and better products. And I'm reminded of the discovery of Columbus and Vasco da Gama. Columbus started from his country and he wanted to find out India, and he landed on an island, and he thought that it is India. So that's why till date the people of that island are referred to as Indians. Still they are called. But Vasco da Gama started, and he went into the field of what it is written here, ignorance, and discovered it. He did not made and paved that way, but it was already existing, and he discovered that route from his country to India. So this is what research does. Discovering new truths, finding out new truths. It was secret, it was lying, and it was researched. Newton discovered the gravitational force. It was lying there, it was existing inside. Newton did not create gravitational force. It was already there inside the earth. What he did, he only experienced it first, then observed it, and then explained it. Same thing Christoller did. Christoller's theory is a milestone in geography for spatial explanation. So, what did he do? There was a space, a geographical space, open lying field, which I told you earlier. And in that field, he explained that how a center develops, and then how it attracts people from its vicinity and from the larger area gradually, and then how it grows. And he explained it as central place theory. So it is already existing. There is human nature to travel shorter distances and to have maximum gain. This is human nature. So Christoller investigated this human nature, and based on this human nature, he derived a theory of spatial location, which is known as central place theory. So it is like this. If you see Weber's industrial theory, again it is the same thing. Already minerals are existing under the surface of the earth, and already there is a human nature, which is the basic nature, which I just now said, that to travel shorter distance and to have maximum gain, to invest little amount and have maximum gain. Now we are running into a consumer behavior and the market and the corporate and so many things. Okay, this is the basic human nature, which is studied and which is investigated, and on that basis research is done. Why there is a vaccine for polio? Because it is related to human problem. Why there is a vaccine for measles and so many things Because it is related to human problem. Why we need fertilizer to enhance the fertility of the soil? Because we need to have good variety of crop, good quality of agriculture done. And it is required for the human being. So research is very important, and research is, we must not think that we are finding out something very new which we are the ones who have done that. No, it is a secret lying on the planet Earth and inside the planet Earth, and we are we are vessels to investigate it. We are the medium conduits to find out what is happening, what is there, and it is in dark, it is in secret. Bring it out in the light and let human being at a larger scale use it, implement it, make rules and laws based on that, so that we can have a better life and the developmental status of that area could be increased. One more example I will give you of transport, and then we'll wind it up. If we see the condition of transport, 50 years back, it was very easy to move from one place to the other place. 10 years later, it became a little difficult, with number of vehicles increasing on the road, and the condition of the road needed to be expanded. Then nowadays, if you find, the traffic is very, very slow. Why? Because population has increased, vehicles have increased, and the condition of because the geographical space is not expanding. The geographical space horizontally is not expanding. So we have to research. We have to do something, find out something, how to deal with this traffic congestion in the transport field. We have to find out. We can use the vertical space. This is just a suggestion. I don't know to which extent it will be viable. But we can use the vertical space. What is metro? Using the vertical space to divide the population pressure on the existing road. What is overbridges? It's just using the vertical space to divide the population pressure which is on that narrow road, because we do not have space to expand the road everywhere. We can have in the umland area, in the rural area, but we do not have inside the city. So this is what? This is research. So thank you for this. Today we have dealt with what is research and how do we go into it.